Hello, and welcome to Session 4. In this lecture, we'll be diving into how user registration works in the OpenDID platform. This session is part of a beginner-friendly series that explains the core processes behind OmniOne OpenDID. Take your time with each step. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of how everything fits together. Let's get started. Let's begin by looking at the overall concept of user registration. In OpenDID, registering a user means adding the user's wallet and DID document to the ecosystem. Simply put, it's the process of establishing the user's identity as a trusted participant. This is a foundational step that needs to happen before a user can perform important tasks like receiving a verifiable credential. It's important to note that we don't just register the user's identity, we also register their wallet as part of this process. In this session, we'll cover the key parts of user registration. For more details, feel free to check the GitHub pages linked through the QR code. Before we dive in, let's quickly review a few core concepts. First, the DID document is a file that contains public keys and service endpoint information linked to a user's DID. Since this document is stored on the blockchain, anyone can access and verify it. The wallet, on the other hand, is a secure container that stores DID documents and verifiable credentials. It's designed to keep this information safe and accessible only to the rightful owner. These basic ideas will help us understand the registration process more clearly. In OpenDID, user registration consists of two key procedures: wallet registration and holder registration. Wallet registration is the process of creating and registering the user's wallet. Holder registration refers to generating the holder DID document and registering it in the system. We'll walk through each of these steps in detail. First, let's go over the wallet registration process. As the name suggests, this is the process of creating and registering the user's wallet. It all starts with creating the wallet. First, the wallet key is generated. Just like in other secure systems, OpenDID uses public key cryptography. A private key is created and securely stored in the user's wallet. Next, a DID document is generated for the wallet. This document includes a public key that corresponds to the private key, allowing others to verify any signed data. Then, the wallet provider signs this DID document. As we discussed earlier, wallet providers are trusted actors in the ecosystem, registered through the trust framework. This signature shows that the wallet is recognized and trusted within the system. Keep in mind, a wallet provider doesn't just sign anything, it must follow a predefined agreement or policy. After this, the signed wallet DID document is submitted to the TAS, or Trust Anchor Service. The TAS verifies the digital signature. Since it already trusts the wallet provider, it can trust the document too as long as the signature is valid. Once verified, the TAS registers the wallet. This completes the wallet registration process and moves us forward to holder registration. Here's a quick summary of what we've covered so far. The wallet registration process is largely divided into wallet creation and wallet registration. And the detailed steps for each are carried out as shown in the table. We start by generating the wallet key. Then we create the wallet's DID document and get it signed by the wallet provider. Next, we submit the registration request to the TAS. Finally, the TAS verifies the signature and, if valid, registers the wallet into the trust framework. Now let's move on to the holder registration process. Following the wallet registration, this time it's the process of creating and registering a DID document for the user. Let's start with the creation of the user's DID document. This starts with generating the holder key, a private key that's stored securely in the wallet, tied to the user's PIN or biometric data. This key allows the holder to prove their identity when performing actions in the system. Next, a DID document is created for the holder. This document includes the public key so that others can verify actions signed by the holder. Then comes the signature step. The user's wallet, which has already been registered and trusted, signs the holder DID document. Since the wallet is trusted, this signature also helps establish trust in the holder document. And since the signing happens within the same secure client environment, it's protected. Finally, the signed holder DID document is submitted to the TAS. The TAS verifies the signature and, if everything checks out, registers the user as a trusted participant. And with that, the user registration process is complete. To summarize, the holder registration process also has two main parts: creating and registering the holder DID document. We start by generating the holder key and DID document. Then we get it signed by the trusted wallet. We send this signed document to the TAS for verification. If the signature is valid, the TAS registers the holder. Now that we've talked about registration, let's take a closer look at what's inside a DID document. There are three key components. First is metadata. This includes the DID itself, version information, and the status such as whether the document is active. Second is the verification method. This is a list of public keys used for cryptographic operations like authentication and signing. And third is the service endpoint. This tells others how they can interact with the DID subject, for example, through a website or API. Let's wrap up with a quick recap of the DID document. Metadata includes the owner's DID, the controller, version information, and whether the document is active. Verification methods contain public keys that others can use to verify the user's digital signatures. Service endpoints provide the interaction points such as URLs that external services can use to communicate with the DID subject. And that wraps up session 4. I hope this session helped you better understand how user registration works in OpenDID. In the next session, we'll talk about the process of issuing verifiable credentials. Thanks for watching. See you next time.